Hello everyone, welcome back to Dark Fate Tarot. You are joining me on the end of what was a thundery, wet, rainy, warm day in Brussels. It's now sunny and beautiful. Welcome to new subscribers. Welcome back to those who already know me. So without further ado, yes, you are going to be seeing Keeper of the Sacred Bee Tarot review. This deck I have used for the whole month of August. There's also photos on my Instagram if you're interested. This is an independent deck published by Kelly Burton. It's part of a trilogy of decks. I will be showing you how I've worked with it, my thoughts behind it, my thoughts behind a little bit behind the whole set of decks as well, but mainly how I've worked with this particular deck and the pairings I did as well. So if you're interested, stick around and we're going to go straight into it. So I hope you enjoy and I'll see you all soon. So great, let's go into it. Now, I am going to be showing quite a few decks, so bear with me. The very first deck that, of course, you know, that we're going to be looking at is Keeper of the Sacred Bee. This is the deck that I have reviewed for this month and used. But of course, as you might all know, it is part of a set, which is, of course, Journey of the Sacred Bee, which is the first deck, as I understand, or was it the Oracle that came first? But these decks came first, and I brought them together. Now, this is the Oracle Wisdom of the Sacred Bee. This is also a tarot, Journey of the Sacred Bee, but this is Thoth based, and I love both of these decks. So based upon that, I actually bought the one that I've reviewed this month, which is Keeper of the Sacred Bee, and this is more RWS based. Now, the other thing that I just want to raise before I forget is the big difference here, apart from RWS and Thoth, is that my impression when using Keeper of the Sacred Bee, which we're going to go through, is this is about more the relationship between the person and the bee, while here we are more following the journey of the bee itself as if we were the bee. So I hope that makes sense, but that's a big differentiation between the two that I noticed. So let's go into Keeper of the Sacred Bee. Let's go back to this. Now, I'm going to be showing here primarily just the associations, and then we'll have a look at the guidebook as well. But yeah, so this is a clamshell box, as you can tell. It says here in the writing, it says, "The Tarot is a pictorial textbook of ageless wisdom, Paul Foster Case." And then it says, "The bees guide the soul with ageless wisdom. They teach us of survival, shared wisdom, selfless giving, and alchemy. We shall all be keepers of the sacred bee." Oh, that is beautiful. That is really beautiful. Okay, so yeah, I think this deck for me focused more on my relationship with the bee and all that may bring. And here's another quote on the inside, so before we go into the cards. And that says, "The consciousness of a beehive, not the individual bees, is of a very high nature. Humankind will not attain the wisdom of such consciousness until the next major revolutionary stage." And that's Rudolf Steiner. Interesting. Okay, so first of all, why did I get this deck? And for those of you who are new to this channel, you know, I've explained a lot before on my channel, but going back to this, I got this deck, of course, as part of a wider set. But what attracted me to Kelly Burton's decks in the first place was, you know, this is the bee, and I associate the bee very strongly with Capricorn energy. And my mother is a Capricorn. I'm a Virgo rising. And, you know, because of a key part of my growth, growing up was I was not always around with my mother. It was not possible due to certain situations. And then, of course, we had gone through a huge amount of turmoil in our lives. And it's almost as if these decks were my understanding of her nature a little bit more, as from the perspective of the bee. And, you know, Capricorns, those who know this energy, you know, Capricorn suns especially, they're very, very tough, hardy people. I mean, and they work really hard. You know, it's the Queen of Pentacles, basically. And very strong, nurturing vibe, but can also be at the sacrifice of themselves. That's how I always see this queen bee that works very hard, but it can get, you know, it can be too much as well. And yeah, it's, you know, I believe the Capricorn energy is a very complex one. And I'm a Scorpio sun as well, so there you go. That makes all of us it makes it a lot more fun in this family, that's for sure. So anyway, that's what drew me to this deck, and you're going to find out for yourselves. the artwork of Kelly Burton is just, it is beautiful. It's something that I haven't experienced before in tarot, so I really, really wanted these decks, and these are the backs for Keeper of the Sacred Bee. Now, I worked with this at the height of summer because I really love summer, even though we haven't had much of a summer this year. I really love summer, and you know, the flora that we get. We're in late summer now, the blooms that we have coming forward. It's beautiful. And this of course has that summer palette. I also love Kelly Burton's art because, you know, we're just talking about this deck first of all. I love Kelly Burton's art because the colors that she uses remind me a lot of the colors that we have in India. My family comes from Gujarat, and we're below Rajasthan, and you can imagine we share, you know, these colorings, these vivacious turquoises and pinks and pops of green, and you know, and we have our own kind of batik, and there's a huge trade between East Africa and West India, so, and of course the Arabian Peninsula. So we really are very integrated into that part of the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Ocean colors. And this deck really has a vibrancy that reminds me of that. I'm not sure if the author meant that, but it has that vibrancy, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. Like this exquisite detail here of the flowers, this really reminds me of some of the mosaics that I've seen. You know, I lived also in the UAE for a while, in Dubai. I left when I was a child, and I went to school there. And you know, it's just part of it's an everyday part of life, these vivacious colors. And so, first of all, this deck reminded me of that. I've just mentioned I love absolute summer. I'm a Virgo rising, so this deck really touches upon my Virgo rising as well. And yeah, I just wanted to enjoy these beautiful collages. I really like how she's brought out the images using this technique, you know, these beautiful batik dots. And I really like the diversity. I mean, the images with just the bee as well, just the gorgeous. Sometimes she harks back to the Rider-Waite images, which also makes it very interesting again. And just before I forget, sorry, the cardstock quality is that, I don't know, it's matte, but it's not soft rose petal matte. It's satin. It's like, you know, it will shuffle well, of course, as I've already shown, but you can guess, here's the gilding on the side. So beautifully gilded, high quality cardstock. I mean, and I bought it for around, I think I paid 55 euros. I bought it from a boutique here, which is about $60 US, and you know, and the decks deliver in terms of quality, but also artwork and beauty. So it's a beautiful package. It's a very earthy and air energy for me. The deck really represents its own ecosystem. That's the best way I can put it. It really represents its own kind of like homogeneous, you know, we're into the world of the bee, but this time we're the keeper of the sacred bee. So it's very much kind of like the human interaction for me with this world, and our role in the system. So some of the readings that I did, the cards that I pulled when I looked at the guidebook, it again refers to how we interact with nature, how we honor the preciousness of the gifts, you know, the fact that, I mean, the bees in the ecosystem, as we all know by now, having, you know, so much science has been produced in the last few years, the bees are a core part of the ecosystem. When their hives collapse, when their existence collapses in areas, it has a mass effect on the ecosystem. And we've seen that in Europe. I think it's present in North America and South America too, so, and Asia. So, you know, again, it goes back to this need to protect our environment. And I really just wanted to explore that. So yeah, so that gives you a little bit of a overview of this deck. I've shown you here a lot of images. The one thing that's interesting I want to point out is in the quartz, if I might be wrong, but when I looked at them, I had the impression that the Thoth style of quartz was kept, which is where we have the princess instead of the page. And I really enjoyed that. I absolutely love, like, you know, the Princess of Wands or the Princess of Swords and so forth. And that's because I believe it really helps to balance the system. I am someone that really, you know, I just have not seen that enough in life, and I like to see more of that. So yeah, but you can see here that it is very RWS based, so you can, you know, if you've just begun working with tarot, or you're now comfortable with, sorry, RWS, but you want to explore more various imagery, then this deck will take you there. Look at that Knight of Pentacles, how clever that's done. Of course, you need to be comfortable with bees, so I'm just going to say that, and with hives and all of that. So, but I am, as you can tell, and there is a geometry that's been followed. I don't know if I'm right in thinking this or feeling this, but my personal experiences is that Kelly Burton is very, very good at balancing color with line work and shapes, and these cards are really, really fantastic in a spread. That's how I want to say it. They work very well because they have a lot of juxtapositions. They have a lot of direction sometimes. And the noise outside, sorry. But it's very, very hot, so I've got to keep the windows open. But yeah, the juxtaposition really makes a great deck as a standalone, because the images are beautiful. But it's also great when we look at it in terms of, if you have a tableau, and let's say you're doing past, present, and future. Again, here you have the Six of Swords, the Two of Swords, and the Princess of Pentacles, you know, and all of a sudden this directionality really just, and also the cards themselves, of course, are bursting with messages. You know, it's very easy to look at, even if we're doing past, present, future, and we just take this, you know, moving on from something, knowing we're leaving rough waters. It's not been a great battle, but we've got to move forward. I love the fact that in all of Kelly Burton's cards in this particular deck, the image of the sun is always with an overlay of, or not always, but has this overlay of a flower or a bee, or I just love how she integrates that imagery in. So here, you know, you have them going towards this, I have no idea what flower that is, but it's just, yeah, it's this feeling that these bees and this keeper are taking the bees. You know, he's the ferryman this time. This time we're the ferryman, right? If we're the keeper of the bee, and we're taking the bees towards a safe passage, we're providing that journey. And then we're looking at how we can, you know, in the current situation, go on a great adventure, a new adventure, you know, a new path is forming. And she's thinking about, you know, where am I taking my hive? Where am I going to build a new ecosystem? You know, and you have these two, I don't know what they're called, but you know, what they use to take honey, you know, as her wands basically. And then finally, you know, the future is that, you know, she will be a guardian of this ecosystem being set up. She will be part of this nurturing energy. She will grow into a space where, you know, of course, the Princess of Pentacles becomes the Queen of Pentacles. She becomes a keeper in her own right of a new ecosystem. So, I mean, just here, this spread is just so beautiful for me to read. That's how I see it as. And, you know, whatever we do, you know, we can always read again. You know, here we have the King of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and the World card. So again, you know, we're going from a place of material wealth to perhaps having to juggle our priorities again, reassess. And again, we're born into a fresh new perspective of a journey. So yeah, so I just love reading with this deck. It is just beautiful. So I'm going to give it a bit of a shuffle, and then we're going to look at my pairings, because I loved pairing this deck. I've just already mentioned, you know, for me, working with color, especially for me, my personal cultural background, color is a huge part of it. I also personally love working with black and white as well. So I always have that juxtaposition for me where I'm East and West, and therefore my mind sometimes flips between the two. And in summer, I think my Eastern side really, you know, the warmth brings that out. So here we're going to start off with pairings. And the very first pairing I want to show is a deck that has been sleeping in my collection for a while. I bought it and then I just couldn't find the way that I wanted to use it. And when I have that and it's beautiful art, I give it a bit of time. So this is Mystic Sisters by Emily Balive, and I believe she's also the artist as well as the writer of the guidebook. I'll just check that actually, sorry, before I go on, but I think that was what it was. I was just checking, and I think, yes, about the artist, yes, it is the same artist and Oracle guidebook writer. So this is a US Games deck, and I bought it for about, I don't know, 20 euros. It's around that mark. And I just think that they go so beautifully together in terms of their art styles. I'll just do that there. So beautiful in terms of their art styles, their imagery, how well they just, yeah, I just had a lot of fun putting these two together. Here the Hangman, here the Coven. It's almost like surrender and, you know, find your troops, find your friends, find your group, your tribe. Four of Cups, you know, being in apathy, allowing the bee to bring us new ideas. And here is Ceridwen, you know, and she's looking into this pot, you know, and the ideas are coming forward. So yeah, I just think Four of Swords, you know, meditation, and then of course the Dragon Goddess is almost, you know, go into meditation and we will find our companion spirit to take us to the next point. Visually, I think they look beautiful. This is Ceres, a queen of the harvest, really an energy that I absolutely love. I really vibe with Ceres. It's Welsh energy. This deck is beautiful. And here we have the Knight of Swords, which is about clarity, right, and precision. So perhaps, you know, that blade is needed for the harvest. This year's harvest needs a bit of clarity of mind. This year, if I want to reap what I've sowed, I need to come in with a much sharper blade than I've used before, perhaps. Knight of Cups, romance, that feeling of just love and passion pouring out. And here we have the magical key. I'm so sorry about the sirens. I feel as if I'm shooting a video and all the sirens begin. But yeah, so we have the Knight of Cups here. We have passion and this outpouring of love and this abundance, right, of passion and compassion as well. And here we have the magical key. And, you know, if you want to open the keys to your heart, there we have it. And here we have the Five Swords, which is, of course, about, sorry, I've just shook the camera. Here we have the Five Swords, which is about, of course, you know, battles that aren't worth, you know, fighting in that kind of way. And here we have Lilith. So perhaps, you know, it's a warning about the energy of how I use my dark side of the moon, feminine energy, to not do these kind of battles, to be careful. So again, you can just see here the vibe of the messages is just so quick and clear. And mania, of course, the mind going completely crazy. And here we have Nine of Swords. I mean, this deck, I have to say, the Mystic Sisters Oracle deck, it has goddesses and sometimes it just has a keyword, so it's all mixed up, you know. But I'm okay with decks like that. Sometimes I feel like I can, or anyone can, hold up decks to such a point of they have to look like this. They have to look like that. Look at that Sisters of Harmony, and look at her Princess of Swords. I love the princesses in this deck. And this deck doesn't have that kind of constant consistency, but it's okay. You know, I think there's so much in it when we just allow creators to be themselves, right? And here we have the Snake Charmer. I had this card at the back of a notebook for, I think in 2021. I loved this card. And here we have Six of Cups, right? So this is nostalgia, but being careful that we're not seeing things through rose-tinted glasses. And here we have the Snake Charmer, which is a little bit about illusions and being under a spell. So again, it's so beautiful how we can read them. And here we have the Raven Goddess, and here we have the Wheel of Fortune. Of course, things will turn, the tide turns, but we're protected here by this goddess energy. So yeah, I really loved this pairing, and I think that they're beautiful. And I already have in my head other decks I haven't bought yet that I can put with Kelly Burton's decks. That's how much I love them. So a deck that decks that I've had kind of like in my collection for a while now. I call them like my unfussy decks. I call these two my unfussy. I want to get the third one as well. Is The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein and her also Super Attractor. I think the other one is called Spirit Junkie, and at some point I'll get that too. These are each 52 card decks. They're very unfussy, but I love that about them. That's why I like them. Sometimes we need a deck which, when we're in juxtaposition with something like this, which is full of detail and artwork and craftsmanship in that sense, sometimes we need art which is a little soothing. That's how I feel anyway. And that's what these two decks offered, that soothing energy. That's what this offered, that soothing energy. So here we have, you know, Nine of Pentacles, building wealth, and here it's about being a super attractor. So both The Universe Has Your Back and Super Attractor are very similar to each other, so I won't show both. I don't think I need to, but so this is about practicing good feeling thoughts. And here we have the Five of Cups, quintessential about, you know, focus too much on what I've lost and not seeing what I still have. Turning my back on things, turning my back on abundance, love, possibilities. I'm not going anywhere. Look, he's off a cliff there. He's not even going anywhere. Like, you know, that's classic. The Five of Cups shows that actually there's possibilities, but we've trapped ourselves. And here it's about, well, you know, this is about thoughts and changing how I think. And if I change how I think, I can see that there are solutions. The magician is, you know, directing my energy to the right places, and this is about redirecting power towards what I want. So, you know, there's a fun interplay of cards, and, you know, I will quickly just show you whilst I have here. The Universe Has Your Back as well. So, you know, just in case you're wondering, are they exactly the same? This is The Universe Has Your Back. Very similar in their energies. I like them. This one actually has artwork, I feel, that has slightly different color palette, and I love that. So here again, we have these, I don't know what I'm doing here, sorry. Here we have it. So Six of Pentacles. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. So in order to receive, don't focus too much on what I think I need, just allow, you know, that's what I'm seeing from here. Here we have the Two of Swords, being at an impasse, and this is about closing my mind, closing my eyes, and going inwards and seeing within. So I hope that gives you an idea again of if you want to have instead The Universe Has Your Back. This is about praying for the highest good of all, and this is the Emperor. This is, for me, the Emperor energy is always about, it's not just about me, it's about my people. I actually have a responsibility, right? And this is Keeper of the Sacred. So I have a responsibility to my environment, how I behave, how I use my power. And here it's about prayer. Prayer becomes power. You know, am I doing it all for myself, or am I doing it for the people around me? So yeah, I hope this gives you again an idea. So yeah, I'll just do one more. That's the Star. And my outer experience are a reflection of my internal condition. Wow, that's so beautiful. So yeah, so here we go. And then I have two more decks. So I hope you're still with me and enjoying this. And the two other decks that I want to show, which I just, yeah, they're just fabulous decks, these decks. And I don't know if, about you, but I think that I'm going to do at one point a video on deck collecting again. I want to also add some thoughts to it. So here it is, the Language of Flowers. That's another deck I've used. I love Cheryl and Darcy's decks, and I am going to definitely have all of her decks by the end of, I don't know, next year or something. I'm slowly collecting them. Balance and Camellia. So let's go on to the next card. Oh, we have the Prince of Pentacles again. How beautiful. This gentleness, right? And again, the colors. I mean, Cheryl and Darcy's Language of Flowers is a stunning deck. If anybody knows, I would love to get this deck again when it was called, I think, Australian Wildflowers. And it's in this beautiful, like, mustard yellow box. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, and you're in Australia, probably it's maybe in some bookshop in Australia, secondhand shop that I might be able to get it. I would love to know, because I love the look of that box. This is one of my favorite decks. I need a backup of this one. I use it so much. Temperance and Dedication. How beautiful, huh? The calmness of this. Edelweiss. So this always reminds me of that water that we have, which is this calm, summery energy. The World and Protection and Daisy. So yeah, you know, you can go with this as you wish in terms of it, and but yeah, I really enjoy the Seven of Cups, all about decisions, and this is consciousness. So yeah, Seven of Swords, being sneaky, and this is potential Himalayan blue poppy. As soon as I saw poppy, I saw, you know, falling into also traps, and being careful of how we use our mind, because poppies are, of course, the source of opium. And this is Seven of Swords. So it's kind of like, you know, be careful of the potential. I think that's what I would take from this one. These two pairings, sorry, together. And here I have Ace of Swords, and here we have Strength with Wild Sunflower. So yeah, I'm going to stop with these two pairings, but I hope, well, maybe one more maybe. Judgment and Awareness. Wow, how powerful. So yeah, and this is with Gardenia. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. And when I do my pulls, just so you're aware, in the mornings, I do sit down with the guidebooks and do my little note taking, and I just enjoy that moment. It takes 15-20 minutes max to do my post and to go through my guidebooks and whatever, and thoughts that I have coming up. And I really love that me time. Okay, so the last pairing, of course, is Oracle of the Seven Energies. This is a Hay House deck that I only bought in the last, I don't know, a few weeks, but I wanted to use it with this deck. That's why it was all about using it with this pairing, because I just felt like it can work. So this says a merry motive, checking my motives, and here it's Eight of Wands. So action, but be careful why, right? Okay, the Moon and the Royal You. Wow, so the Moon here, illusions, and here, you know, who am I becoming? If I'm taking on something prestigious, how am I going to behave around that, right? Four of Wands, stability and roots of abundance. Look at that. That's just, I find that beautiful. Like, the roots of my abundance are built upon this fire of energy, which is stable and done with this goodwill, right? This passion. Princess of Cups and Birds of Feather. So for me, this is about new ideas, and this is about being around people that are similar and like-minded. And here's Strength, and here says willing, release. Wow. So here, if I want to get strong and to be able to harmonize that energy, and here she's coordinating this hive, that's how it looks like it. She's really being able to channel their energy and have them move in a certain way. And here it means, you know, in order to do that, and this dandelion, I need to let go of perhaps my ego a little bit. And here I have the Six of Wands and Waking the Lion. Oh my, sorry, I have not planned this at all. Victory and waking, I mean, yeah, I have not planned this. I'm just showing you the cards here. The Chariot and the Land Between. I mean, I kid you not, I did not plan this when I was showing this. So here we have her making her way through, and here we have this card about, you know, going through that middle way. So quieting the mind and the Queen of Pentacles. And here, of course, the yogic position with the mudras. And here we have her with the Queen of Pentacles balancing those coins. It's just, yeah, really for me, this speaks about harmony. Abundance is based upon harmony. And then finally, we have Broken Open and the Fool. Wow. So if I want to start new journeys, I need to be like the lotus, you know, just allow myself to be open to the cosmic energies. Should we just do one more before we finish? Ace of Cups and Beautiful Uncaging. Okay, I did not plan that at all. That just synchronized all by itself. And I just think it looks amazing. So I hope you enjoyed that pairing. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to return to the outro. Hello everyone. So when initially recording this, I actually had forgotten to give a recommendation on the guidebook. So the guidebook to this deck is quite small. It's just a little white book. If you're new to tarot and oracle decks and are still learning, I would definitely recommend that you have a traditional RWS reference book with you, just to help you if you would like that, or of course, you know, go to an app or a website if that's more supportive. What I'm going to do is just quickly draw a card from one of these to give you an idea of a sample reading. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords here. Fantastic. So what do we have for the Ace of Swords? And here we have the Swords suit. Right, so we get a little blurb about the sword suit, and then we just literally get this per card. And it says here, I'll just hold that up. It says here, the Ace of Swords offers the potential of new ideas, tapping into genius, developing new strategies, and finding clever solutions. The card's background represents ideas that are quite solidified, on the verge of manifestation. The sword emerges as a gift with an inspiration, with an inscription and a sigil of your personal intentions. Meaning, original thoughts are coming through to you, only you can limit or grasp the potential. Set your intentions to believe in the outcome, and your ideas will be crowned by success. And reversal is an unfulfilled dream. A new idea may fail to be the solution, ignoring the possibilities, stressed over new developments. So as you can see, it's quite short. If you're somebody that's quite familiar with tarot, the tarot system, and just want to have this book as a quick reference guide, it's perfect. So there you go, that's the guidebook. So I hope you enjoyed that review, and thank you for joining me today. As you can see, this deck has paired so beautifully with a lot of the other decks in my collection. I don't even think I've run out of pairings. It's just like these are the ones that I really picked for this month. One thing I want to say is that you know, artists have different renditions of how they work with decks, and I want to respect the fact that this deck really brought out its own unique flavor in terms of being Keeper of the Sacred Bee. It's harking back to the environmental challenges that we're facing and to be at one with the environment we're in. So I'm really grateful that this deck has such a powerful message, as well as a beautiful set of cards. And I hope to see more creations from Kelly Burton. But in the meantime, if you'd like to see more of my reviews, please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell and press like if you like this review. And I will see you all soon. Take care now.